Hey there, I'm Drew.
And I'm Caleb. And
Yep.
this is the Post-Apologist. Oh, God. I thought we were trying to do it together.
I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
Oh.
It's fine. Okay, great. So off to a great start. This is Post Apologist. We're talking about last week we tried to talk about 8 seasons of The Walking Dead to catch up all the viewers who, newcomers who would listen to a podcast spoiling 8 seasons of television. So I realized it wasn't probably the most economic way to spend our time.
Yeah, talking for almost 2 hours, it kind of gets old after a while.
And we missed so much, and there's so many names we already forgot. This show is crazy, but we're doing it this Sunday. It's like maybe like I believe 5 hours or 6 hours before the next episode of The Walking Dead, where it's the mid-season premiere of season 9, and we're gonna just recap all of season 9 part 1, which is 8 episodes, like every half season is, and I'm really excited to talk about it because I think right off the bat. So I think we've kind of talked about our history of Walking Dead a little bit, but just to recap for me, it's just something I do every Sunday night just because it's good. No matter what the quality is or anything like that, I just always have a fun laugh, just poking holes in it and just having some funny moments with it. But its quality isn't great. I wouldn't recommend hey, watch 8 seasons of this show that isn't that amazing. What do you what's your main kind of thesis about the whole show?
Honestly, you just take your time with it, as long as people aren't spoiling it anywhere. Yeah, just take your time watching it. It's kind of declined after a couple of years. It had a really strong start, and then I want to say after the fourth or fifth season, it just kind of, I think it just started losing its luster.
Yeah, from my opinion, season 5 is like the apex of kind of great writing, but I think season 9 might be the resurgence of this kind of renaissance of writing and execution, because in case you didn't know, Greg Nicotero was the main director. This show has recycled a lot of directors and stuff like that, but Angela Kang is the current one. And, Greg Nicotero or Scott Gimple, he was taken off season 8 because just like the direction and the viewership was dropping down. They just wanted something new. I think Angela Kang as a director, I can tell definitely in the writing of just something interesting and just more better character development and characters in general. Have you noticed just like an upturn in the value of the show, like since season 9 premiered?
Well, we've gotten a lot of new interesting characters, for one thing, which, is always good. But you don't just get all the side characters. You get the, 10 seconds in memoriams and who we never wanted to remember.
All the red shirts we don't know, because we'll talk about it later, but like deaths are so hard to do on this show because it's the kind of thing where it's like, well, this person had a really cool character thread, but now he's dead, so we don't get to see that character thread carry out.
I really found the whole concept of the deaf girl. I forgot her name.
Connie, maybe?
I believe so, yeah. I think it's just an interesting kind of fresh turn to it.
Yeah, this whole thing seems like it's almost a new show. It's just the way, because like The Walking Dead hasn't evolved much, but like season 9, it's like they're doing time jumps, doing all kinds of things. So my main review of this season so far is I'm really excited to see the next, because my opinion is like in season 8 and 7, the whole thing is like the whole reason you watch a show is because it's to be continued at the end of each episode. But season 8 and 7 was like, okay, well, the end game is going to be defeating Negan, as opposed to season 3 opener where it's like, what's going to happen to these survivors next? All of season 7, all of season 8, it was just that kind of like looking at my watch, waiting for Negan to get killed or waiting for the good guys to win, But in this season, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I don't think they're planning to kill Negan anytime soon. Just take the governor. We had so many opportunities to kill him off, and then we turned him into probably one of the our least, like the most hated antagonists that we love to hate out there.
Yeah, but Negan has been almost killed so many more times, hilariously so. Yeah, so season 9, we'll get right into the story and everything, but generally I'm excited to see it because, like I said, like season 8 and 7 dragged on, just like how Negan's going to die, blah, blah, blah. He didn't. But season 9, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I'm super excited for tonight. Are you excited for the rest of the season?
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing this to the end, no matter how bad it gets.
Yeah, and we'll talk about theories and stuff at the end, but let's just start right. So I rewatched as much as I could, skimming through like the highlights of it and whatnot. So season 9 starts. So another thing I hate about season 6, 7, and 8 is that basically, if you think about it, like Maggie was pregnant the entire time, but she never started showing. But the reason that is because the back half of season 6 to season 8, it literally takes place over the course of 5 weeks. Think about it. Is that wrong? Like the war took place maybe over like a week and a half. Season 7 took place over like 2 weeks maybe. Season 6 took place over like 2 weeks maybe as well.
I'll be honest, I really do not keep track of time.
Exactly. But it's only been a month. Like there's been a few time jumps on the show, but there has been for a long time.
Let's just go out and say our catchphrase: plot
Convenience.
convenience.
Yeah, but this time jump in season 9 was actually pretty sweet because like it looked like time had passed, beards were grown, crops were grown, things were built in Alexandria.
Judah is now a young, budding junior Carl now.
Yeah, that was. I think that's when she starts wearing her hat is like the jump after Rick dies, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I love Judith because like it's been so the time jump between season 8 finale and season 9 premiere was I have right here 18 months. So it's like a year and a half afterwards, and the zombies look even grosser and more decayed. They went like doing new things. They went to Washington D.C. and like they went to like maybe a Smithsonian location, a fake one, obviously, to get remember they got that, what's the word for Oregon Trail? What's the word? The wagon. They got the wagon.
Oh yeah, that brings me back.
And yeah, I mean, it's a real palate cleanser. Like the whole pilot just screams palate cleanser. So seeing Rick and Michonne, no Carl, it was so good. But seeing them together though, like just like them being happy. Nothing. There's no war to fight. There's no PTSD. There's always that, but still.
No Carl to be a badass.
Man,
that was probably the worst decision.
Such a kick to the balls,
honestly.
To fans.
I think that's just like a huge middle finger to the comics because he's still kicking.
Yeah.
Ass.
Well, we'll talk about the comic stuff because I'm excited to talk about that when we talk about the Whisperers. But yeah, the season was full of stuff, but it was full of stuff where like I said, it wasn't multiple things going on, not in the one direction of we gotta kill Negan. And everyone freaking out about it. Like if you look back in season 7 and 8, I'll probably stop talking about those in a second. But they're always like every episode, it's like we gotta kill Negan, we gotta kill Negan, we gotta kill Negan. He's gonna die for that, Rick, that kind of thing. But we got new things going on. We got multiple plot lines. We're getting more characters like drawn out, like so many names. The girl from the Oceanside, Amazon Forest lady.
Yes.
Like her name and other people just getting people interacting, which is always fun. So, and what did you think about all the rebuilding that happened? Like the sanctuary has kind of its own crops. And I love how basically every society and every town kind of makes their own things. I think they talk about it. They say Alexandria makes bullets, Hilltop makes crops, Sanctuary makes fuel. Remember they had corn fuel. They turned it into gasoline. I love that whole because they're a building society and they have to make these resources. They can't just be like, hey, we found a box full of food. It's been started season 9. It's been 4 years at least into the apocalypse. There's not going to be any we found some cans. All cans are gone bad. They got to grow stuff,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean that's kind of how. That's just how it is. They gotta have something to barter because money is nothing more than toilet paper in that point.
So yeah, Gregory. So that kid dies by getting kicked in the chest. Really funny because it was like I gotta save these horses. Kicks in the chest. Cut scene. And it was cut to commercials.
And then he got bitten by a zombie, didn't he?
No, he just got kicked in the chest and died from chest breakage.
I guess I don't know. He broke a couple of blood vessels or something.
Yeah.
Internal bleeding.
Yeah,
I imagine that's not.
That can definitely happen. So then Gregory's all smug. He's like, "Oh, Maggie got your friend killed because the resources they got today was going to the saviors. Maggie's a bad leader." And then he gets this guy Earl drunk, and then he tries to kill Maggie, but then he actually pulls a knife on Maggie again. Real dumb. But then she hangs Gregory. I'm like, finally, that guy's had way too many chances.
That was the first episode where a very major character died, and I was like, oh, what a joy in my heart.
What, Gregory just because he was a dick or what?
No, Gregory was the worst. Had no loyalty, only gave a damn about himself, and he just didn't care who he had to kill just to get. And yeah, if you mess with Maggie, you're signing.
And he's messed with Maggie so many times. Like he betrayed them when he went to Negan in season 7. He betrayed them. Gosh, why did she give him so many chances? But
no, he was a coward. And when you think about it, someone like Gabriel, at first I didn't like him mainly because he was also a coward, but he actually redeemed himself. He big time.
But Gregory, I love his swarmy, listen, Martha. He gets her name wrong every time on purpose. Listen, Martha, I know you're a woman and you're running this place, but I know the Savior's best. And He's like being an AMC executive, and he's been such a misogynist. Real funny though. So yeah, so I think what's cool is that like she hung him without Rick's approval because it's really interesting because like Rick isn't in charge of all these communities. So like when like the sanctuary is like you can't tell me what to do, like they're right, like Rick's not in charge of everybody, but he still made this choice not to kill Negan and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very interesting debate of like, does Rick have the right just because he won the war to tell you what to do? Like, because there's no police, there's no like kind of organized. It's all just a militia.
Well, I'm guessing does Rick still hold like authority as a sheriff? Like I guess a pseudo kind of authority. Like I'm still kind of the law here because I didn't exactly get discharged from the police force.
Yeah, and it's really weird because so it looks like it comes off of like past seasons or so that each community has a certain leader. So the Hilltop has Maggie, the Kingdom has Ezekiel, Alexandria has Rick, but for some reason it looks like Daryl was in charge of the sanctuary at the opening of season 9. Why would he watch over these idiots in the sanctuary who kept him hostage?
Yeah, I guess because he felt he was the only one qualified. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you guys a chance for holding me hostage.
Or he could have just let Dwight run it instead of cutting him loose.
I don't think he 100%. Dwight was the one who was the former savior who turned on Negan.
Yeah, Two-Face guy.
Didn't he leave?
Yeah, he left. So I found it really weird how just Daryl was in charge of the saviors because like.
Okay, well think about it. Daryl is Rick's best friend. Like he's the one of the few people he trusts more than anything.
And it's weird because like I said, each community has a leader, but then Rick kind of just subjugates the sanctuary, and there's awesome debates where like the sanctuary, I think Alden, generic white guy with brown hair who's like dated Tara or something like that, or the girl who's into Rick. Anyway, he said the word something along the lines of, "Hey Rick, you're making the sanctuary work for you and taking some of their profits. Who does that sound like?" And like he said he sounded like Negan because Rick is making making the saviors work for him and the bridge, but also like taking some of their oil and stuff too, and like their gas they make. I'm like, man, that's a good point.
Oh God, Rick really was turning into Negan. Now that I think about it,
like
it's either my way or the highway.
Exactly, and it's cool how like in a leadership role, that's how that kind of stuff happens. Like first it's punishing someone for stealing food by cutting off an arm, and then the next it's executing someone for saving their friend, something like that,
Well, and think about this. At the same time, like, the Saviors were just barely new to, Rick's leadership. Like, they were so used to, the I am Negan, cult-like mentality. And then suddenly they just get a new leader like that. Yeah, and it's not like they had any intention of betraying Negan.
Exactly, and a leader that doesn't kill them if they step out of line. Like, when I think Zach McGowan, the guy, he was the main Savior guy. I think his name was, like, Jason or something like that in the show. He was the guy who took the water from Henry and stuff and was a real jerk the whole time, like really long hair.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. I think he was like next to him.
And like exactly and he got into a fist fight with Daryl at one point. And then like if that was Negan, like Rick would have gone up and shot him in the head immediately. But since Rick is merciful, like and he's like the sanctuary, like Daryl says it too. He's like, Rick, these people only respond to violence. Oh, sorry, it's more like. Rick, these whole people only respond to violence,
Yeah.
Because that's such a good point, because these saviors, like, they don't know, like, they haven't been taught any other way, but, some of them, like, Arat, that person who, like, cut her hair short and dyed it blonde, like, she was becoming a pretty good person, it seems, until you find out what she did later, but, like, yeah, most of these saviors are just being just the worst, they don't conform. What do you think about all that? Like, do you think, like, Rick it's right to give him a chance, or what do you think about all this?
Honestly, I think it just depends on your view of it. I mean, some people do deserve chances, but then I guess there are some people who like feels like, with all the crap that they've piled up throughout their life, like, hey, there's really no coming back from that. And I think like back when the girls from Oceanside were starting to kill off saviors, and, because they felt like these guys can't be trusted, they can't be redeemed. At first, I was kind of against it. But then in the end, when they killed that last one, when they told her like
execute a rot, that was because like that's why I said like that's a great scene because we've had seasons where it's like season 4 where like can we come back from the things we do, but this is more like I said, kind of a revamp and palate cleanser of like how do you rebuild this society that's been torn apart once by the apocalypse and then twice by war. So especially like when like the first like 3 episodes, find like people are like, oh, some saviors going missing. Like I literally thought like, oh, they must just be like screwing off and like drinking off and like goofing off the whole time. But then you find out that the Oceanside are the ones who are taking them prisoner and then killing them. I thought that was awesome because like Daryl and Maggie both confront all the Oceanside people at their old home, which has final warning on the side and spray paint. And like they explain the whole thing. I thought that was awesome, like awesome writing, because like the whole morality thing. Because if this was a real war, they would have trials after the war happened to be like, okay, Arat, you killed this boy in cold blood, bullet to the head, you're dead.
No exceptions.
No except, because then it's such a difficult thing because, like in World War II, in the concentration camps and stuff, they had hearings after the war to hold these people on trial for breaking Geneva Conventions.
I have no idea what that means.
In World War II, like Geneva Conventions say like you can't kill civilians and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, like in World War II, like I said, like they have these hearings and they have court where they can charge people with war crimes. But after the war, Rick was like, we gotta live together, even though you all have busted up hands. And then we killed hundreds of you, and it's it would be easier just to wipe out all the saviors, but there's still some good eggs in there. Like,
I don't think it was so much the good eggs. It's like, we kind of need some extra hands on deck. Let's just make them do the really menial labor, like the really ones who. I think that's the real punishment, because it's better to them working alive than
being dead. But then that's the same thing of Negan subjugating them and being like, Rick, I want you to give me half your stuff or you'll be dead. Better than being dead, right?
I mean, that was kind of one of Negan's fair points, because I think despite his twisted view of things, he was genuinely trying to preserve life, because he at times when he killed people, he did not want to do it, but he have felt like you're not really giving me many options.
And by warning people, he set a precedent for, if you screw around like all the saviors did of Rick, I'm going to kill you immediately.
Well, notice how he always tends to target like the weakest link, either the weakest link or the one who he feels would be a greater threat. That's why he killed Abraham when he
sucked my nuts.
Well, there was that, but
also he was like, even though he was on his knees, he was still like 6 feet tall because he was a huge guy.
Yeah, he didn't like that. Like, I'm not really going to like the guy who's taller than me, buffer than me, could probably twist my head off like a bottle cap. Like, I think I'm just going to bash your head and just to be safe.
Man, like, it's really good, right? Like, this whole debate of, like, should Rick kill these people? Should he give them a second chance, even though a lot of them have committed war crimes? Like, this is peak Walking Dead writing, like, because it's not just like season 1 or 2 or 3 where it's like, what do we do with these people? This person's a man. This is like, you did wrong. Like, there's zombie apocalypse wrong, and there's just like moral wrong of like killing children, like Arat did to like her brother.
Oh yeah, that's kind of why it just made me like, hey, kill her. Just fuck it, kill her.
I don't, because it's really a thing. Because I don't like the whole apocalypse thing of, do you want to give people a chance or don't you? And Arat was trying to change. But when Matt, like, I think in that situation, where, Oceanside's about to execute Arat for doing terrible Geneva Convention breaking, and, it's the apocalypse, who cares about Geneva Conventions? But, executing a kid, I think they should have talked to Rick, and they should have held like, they should just, at that point, hold hearings covering everybody who ever did bad stuff.
Yeah,
like really bad stuff.
Killing children is just inexcusable. That's what actually led to the governor's downfall in the original comics.
Was that when he killed...
That's when he had one of his soldiers kill Lori, who had Judith at the time, and sadly she was crushed to death by her mother.
The Walking Dead is so, like, so I think there was a person named Lily from Woodbury. In the comics, she has a shotgun. She shoots Lori carrying Judith, and she, like, explodes her Lori's midsection region. And she suffocates the baby because she falls on it. Like, the comic is so dark. But yeah, man, this is awesome writing. I loved it so much because when Arat said, like you said, no exceptions, and Daryl and Maggie say nothing, they just walk away, and then you see her get headshotted by. That was awesome scene and powerful. I can't remember last time something powerful happened that wasn't like, a character death, someone we don't care about,
Yeah. God, I would love to see them try to kill off Judith. I'm just thinking,
I think they've already gone through the darkest phase. Well, maybe they're going to a new one because I hate to be like, oh, I want to see a zombie baby, but like this is up the ante more. I want to see
You want to see a zombie baby? Watch the first episode of Z Nation.
Z Nation. Yeah, oh, Z Nation's so good and great.
Just thinking about Judith's character development, think about it. Just from the moment she was born, she was already written as probably one of the more tragic characters. Because think about it. First, she lost her mother, and I guess her biological father, but at this point, she probably doesn't even... Well, I wonder, did Michonne or ever mention him at all?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, your bio daddy tried to kill
Unless she asked about her giant earlobes, and she's like, where'd I get these earlobes? Like, that was from my friend Shane.
She was also batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I love also the importance of the bridge during the first 5 episodes where Rick is like, this bridge is going to unite us all, and it doesn't because the Saviors are all total jerks. Just the worst. I feel like that bridge could have just been solved by just putting metal plates on it. Like, they had to make a whole wooden thing, exoskeleton around it. Just use metal plates to get... Because it's like there are factories that have metal plates, right? Like, why would you need to, like, make this wood thing over it,
I don't know. Like,
plot convenience. Sweet. So, yeah, the climax with the ocean Amazon ladies were awesome. Then there's that whole thing of so at the end of that episode, Maggie and Daryl plan to kill Negan, where it's like she says, like, it's so annoying, she's like, we tried Rick's way, it didn't work. I'm like, did you try though? And then the next episode they try to kill Negan, and that's when, like, Daryl and Rick have their whole bro fight in the bottom of the pit and all that stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw them have a bro fight.
Season 7 was Season 8 when they were at the war and they argued about killing all the Saviors, all that stuff.
That's right.
But yeah, like when I love it when Negan's like, Rick, you're barely keeping it together, man. When like he's in the prison.
Yourself. I mean, God. I mean, I think when Maggie finally had the opportunity to kill Negan and he just desperately pleaded like, hey, just end it. Like,
kill me. Because, if you're in prison for the rest of your life, like, that's a long life to live in a prison, alone. Just like, because it's a fate worse than death at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I wonder if you could actually die of boredom. Like, you get so little brain activity, it just shuts down.
People become pretty shut off from the world, like Negan did at one point. He
wasn't completely shut off, because Judith would, like, talk to him from time to time.
Yeah, that was beforehand. So, like, we're still in the 5-episode range. Yeah, I loved it when Maggie's like, you're not worth it. He's like, no, kill me.
Like, please, God.
I wish
I
wish he had the big beard from the comics. Like, why did they give him a haircut? Like, I love the huge, big, like, castaway beard from the comics. I like that. Oh, well.
Well, think about it, like, all the other roles he probably had to do, he probably didn't have time to grow.
Well, he could have gotten a fake one, a really shitty-looking fake one. That would have been so funny. He just looks like God. Like, he just had, like, the biggest white beard, like a mane.
Oh,
that would have been so funny. Yeah, so like I said, let's get to Rick's death. So
I hope... For the record, I don't think Rick is officially dead. It just showed him carried away in a helicopter.
Yeah. And AMC is the best. It lies to us. It bragged forever like this is Rick's final season. And then his final episode came around when he got spiked Last of Us style on the abdomen. He started, he was having hallucinations with Shane, which was awesome.
Several different hallucinations. And at one point when he was just imagining, like, first Shane in the car, and then it was
that was awesome.
Like, wake up!
Wake up. Why? There shouldn't have been one with Star Trek lady. What's her name? Sasha?
Yeah.
Did he have, like, one talk of Sasha in the entire show? Did he ever have one dialogue section of Sasha?
I imagine, maybe.
Maybe once.
A couple of times.
When he told her to shoot something.
No, I think, like, when he was with Tyrese and her, I'm sure they've had
that discussion. He should have met with Carl again, something like that. Or, like, maybe met with Lori.
Oh, God, yeah. Carl and
that would have been
Lori.
So good. But you met Sasha's kind of random. I didn't like that part. But yeah, Scott Wilson was dead, of course. He passed away recently.
Yeah, true.
Who plays Herschel. But Herschel, he was able to be in that show one more time. That was awesome.
Herschel, that was probably one of the most beautiful just farewells.
And I think it's amazing because AMC cashed in on our love for Rick by bragging this our last episode, and then they didn't kill him. I was like, because in the whole thing, I'm watching the episode like, okay, Rick's going to die. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. And then when Jadis, like, sees his body and, like, has the helicopter and then Space Jam starts playing, it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, AMC lied to us about Glenn. They lied to us about Rick. This is amazing.
Well, they kind of just like to they're like the girl at the prom. Like, they just like to lead us on.
It's like, like if Game of Thrones was like, okay, here we go, this is Jon Snow's last episode, and then they kill him, and then they fake us out, people would be so mad. It's amazing. I can't. My mind can't comprehend how hilarious that is. Like, imagine if Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame, or whatever, they're like, okay, Captain America and Iron Man are gonna die, and we're like, oh my gosh, can't wait for this dramatic, and then they don't kill him. Like, that's bull.
I mean, they also didn't they do a theory where Thanos would actually undo his own snap? I mean, come on, they're just theories, like just comic book nerds with nothing better to do.
Did you think Rick was dead?
No. I mean, they saw him like. Well, he wasn't exactly
like
the best.
When he shot that explosive on the bridge and he blew up. Did you think he was? I thought he was dead for sure. Do you think he was gonna die?
I don't think they would have. For one thing, I don't think they're really ready to kill him off that quickly. I mean, unlike Breaking Bad, but they didn't really kill Walter till about the end, right?
Yeah, last scene. Yeah.
Yeah, Walking Dead is like far from over. So I feel like, I think Andrew Lincoln, Rick's actor, his main reason for leaving was to spend time with his family.
Yeah.
Because
he's British and stuff, and they're probably in London or whatever.
Yeah. So apparently, first off, apparently there were rumors of a Walking Dead movie.
Yeah. So he's gonna
3 trilogy movies.
Yeah. So AMC is so struck for cash and for new IPs and new anything at all. They're going to spin off 3 Walking Dead movies with Rick. This is crazy. Like, why would they do this? And why, if they're making spin-off movies, why?
Money?
Because he has more story to tell?
Probably. I mean, think about it. After he was hauled away in a helicopter of unknown origin.
Yeah, more story to tell with no actors we've never seen before. Like, maybe Michonne will be in these movies, but what in the world?
I don't think so, because...
Yeah,
I think this is going to tell Rick's ordeal. Like, I guess it will, like, what happens to Rick afterwards. But I don't think we're going to be seeing it for a couple of years. Let Andrew Lincoln get reunited.
But he'll be so old. Like, this is an old man Logan where he has healing factor. He's just going to be like an old guy. It's so funny. I can't... that's awesome. So,
well, thinking about it, I honestly predict Walking Dead will be ending in maybe 5-6 years.
No,
at most.
If that's another thing too. Like, I like this. Season 9's looking pretty good. I want this show to end at max. Mark my words right now. At season 11. This show better end season 11. If this
that's about the average when most shows would end, like long-running shows would end.
But that's like Friends, where it's like a comedy. It's all 30 minutes. Like, this is a huge 8-season show. If they go past 11
seasons,
they go past 11 seasons. No way.
Yeah, even after the 10th season, whatever has been done is probably it's already been.
And
done.
then the whole Jadis character is created to get Rick out of that situation. Jadis, the person who called in the helicopter and stuff. It's just
that's right.
Bunch of weird stuff.
Again, plot convenience.
But then, by the way, she had intercourse or something, whatever, with Gabriel. And by the way, in the comic, people have intercourse all the time, which they totally should be, because it's a terrible world, and why not, right? But
yeah, I mean, come on, man. We're kind of low on the population here, so
exactly,
maybe we should start thinking like the rabbits.
But yeah, it's so weird. I love it, but I just can't believe they lied to us again. And no one's mad, or some people were mad. But man, that's crazy.
Wait, just as weird as that were talking zombies?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So first 5 episodes done. No cliffhangers from there. So then season 5 ended with Judith, aka baby
Judith, baby Rick.
Judith's actor is, fun fact, who's like maybe 6 or 8 years old. She plays the baby version of Rey from Star Wars too. She was in that one scene in Force Awakens. But yeah, when so it was so funny because like they did a really cool shot where like they show the helicopter flying away, but then they show like the trees, and they do like kind of a time lapse where like some trees fall, and like the barn in the background decayed. I thought it was really cool. And then they show these characters from the comics, Magna and Modi. No, not Modi. Yumiko, Connie, and some other people. And the chubby guy from
Fantastic Beasts.
And Where to Find Them. They're in the case, in case you're wondering. And then she has this little girl has a huge 44 Magnum at least, and shoots a zombie and like, come with me, I can help you.
Yeah, just follow the
She has
little
a sit.
6-year-old
She
girl out of
has.
nowhere.
She has a 2 foot wide sheriff hat on. She has a 6 shooter and a samurai sword in her back. I'm like, this is awesome. Are you kidding me? You had me hooked. Walking Dead. That was awesome.
Oh God.
What'd you think about that? When like a little, she's like, come with me. You know, like what'd you think about that?
I mean, I think I literally jumped for joy when I said that. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go!"
And it may have jumped the shark for some people, but if you're on The Walking Dead, I just want something new. As far as I care, the season 9 mid-season premiere can be a 10-year time jump, and Judith is a kick-ass 18-year-old who's just headshotting zombies as she makes her morning coffee. I would love that. Like, I want a time jump every 5 episodes from now on. Can you imagine how awesome that'd be?
Oh,
We can just see Daryl's and Michonne's babies because they got together. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I don't think it's.
All right.
Honestly, I was kind of really disappointed. The one thing I was disappointed was the whole Carol and Ezekiel relationship. I think a lot of Daryl Carol shippers. I think they probably like. I think they raged out because
I think they're just close friends. I kind of accepted that because how old is Carol? Because so let's just go right now. So this is a 6-year time jump. So it started 18 months from season 8, and then between episodes 5 and 6, 6 years jump, the biggest jump they've ever had in Walking Dead.
she's gotta be. I'm thinking probably in her late 40s,
And that's too
late
because
40s.
like no, she's got to be early 50s. It's been like 8 years since the apocalypse, and she's maybe like 40 to start. I guess late 40s, I guess, but. Yeah, and Daryl should be pretty old too, because Norman Reedus is up there pretty.
I'm looking her up right now. Late 40s to early 50s. But yeah, with that hair and everything, it's kind of.
She looks like Gandalf the Grey. That's such a weird haircut.
Gender bend.
Yeah,
fanfic.
exactly. But yeah, more changes. Good. I loved it. Like the whole jump. So, remind me. Have you read the comics at all? Are you all up to date?
I'm not. I'm honest. It's been a week, man. I barely had time to pick up.
Oh, no problem. But yeah, when I saw Magna for the first time, and she looks right from the comic. She has like those kind of weird chest tattoos and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, what? This is the jumping this already? But yeah, this 6-year time jump was what was promised in the comics. It was called like A New Beginning, I think, something like that, or like they had the full time jump after the all-out war. But man, yeah, that was awesome seeing Magna Yumiko. I like Henry, which has become the new Carl. Like that's because Henry's taken the place of Carl in the comics.
Oh yeah, no. I definitely liked him from the beginning, and I figured we always called him little Carl Jr. I kind of wanted him and Carl to kind of just be close friends, brothers in arms kind of deal.
But did they ever meet?
No, that's what irked me though. I figured they would have like the most dynamic like Rick and Daryl kind of relationship.
Yeah, they're the two badass kids of the apocalypse.
Oh.
The last two. Now he's the only one.
Well, for now.
For now, yeah.
Oh God.
Lots of cool change. Like the walkers are like covered in algae now. There's like that one walker that was like in a tree. That was funny.
After the whole bloated walker from season 2?
Season 2, something like that.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how you could get more disgusting.
Yeah, and
that.
like most of the walkers have just like their eyes are just like in their sockets at this point. It's so gross. They look like the zombies always look great, but man, they look so bad now. Like sick. By the way, too, can we just get out of the way? Zombies should not be that overgrown. A corpse should be bones after 8 years, right? 8 years.
8 years just in the sun,
time.
winter.
The sun exposed. Yeah. That plot
but
convenience.
I think the fact that plot convenience. Sorry, I missed that cue there. But I think the fact that the dead's rising to begin with. I mean, again,
it's bloody unbelievable if you ask me.
Yeah. Oh, how about talking walkers? Can we get to that?
Yeah. So we'll just go through real quick. Like the Magna's group is kind of like expository for the audience to show things have changed. Which is pretty cool because we kind of got the introduction and new stuff. We got people like Sadiqa got Alexandria looks awesome. They've built like a new church for everything, and like there's like a council at the Alexandria. It's like, so yeah. After Rick dies, like who do you think is like the main star of this show? Probably Michonne, right? Like
most definitely Michonne,
Daryl, and Carol. I get.
Carol has kind of just been the unsung main star. Kind of. She's always been kind of my personal favorite.
Yeah, so let's just say, I guess, I think Michonne is probably the biggest one, right? Like, she's in charge of Alexandria.
Pretty much.
And then they made Maggie disappear from the show because the actress wanted to do better things than The Walking Dead. So they did the plot convenience of her going off of Georgie. They're like, oh, Maggie's gone. Yeah, I got a letter from her recently from Georgie.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I feel like that's just sloppy writing. I feel like that's just like
Because like she wanted to get out of that show so bad that she just like
they
left.
just wrote her off out of nowhere. Like they just wrote her off out of
So
nowhere.
she can come back, but it seems so weird for her to be like, oh yeah, she just left it for a kid. I'm like, oh okay, we didn't see that happen or goodbye at all, but oh well. But so yeah, so I think we're ready to talk about. So yeah, the saviors are basically all gone at that point. Remember, and like before Rick died, like the saviors and Alexandria had a big fight like in the forest near the bridge again.
Yeah.
But the saviors pretty much all gone. Like I think the sanctuary is abandoned. They might have said. Jed, I think that asshole savior. He had a wagon that was pulled by zombies with hoods on. That's a really smart idea. I appreciate that creativity. And then Carol burned them all alive. She loves burning people alive. How many people has she burned alive? 2 people at the prison. I think about maybe 5 when she burned the saviors alive. And she burned more saviors alive in season 9.
Oh, didn't she blow up Terminus though? I'm sure some people had to.
She made a zombie on fire eat someone alive. So if a zombie's on fire eating someone alive while he's on fire, does that count as setting someone on fire by association?
I'm close enough. I mean,
Man,
you're
she's
pretty
an
much
arsonist.
burning as. Oh yeah, that's your nickname, the
And
arsonist.
also, I am so happy. The Walking Dead, like in season 7, like 3 years. I don't know if you know this, but gasoline turns into Jello after 12 months.
Yeah.
So when Negans drive around in 18-wheelers and stuff, there's no more cars at this point, which I am thanking God for. There should be no more cars after if you are 8 years in the apocalypse, gasoline does not work. Like you have to make it yourself, or, you know.
Yeah, and even then, like, where do you get people to just make the gas?
I'm so happy about that. You know, I'm so sick of people like, oh, I found an abandoned car to drive. Oh, perfect. Like, there's cars do not work if their batteries are ruined, all that kind of stuff.
Well, think about it. I mean, there's always still like new. Well, I guess those go bad too.
Everything goes bad, so you have to resort back to horses, which I appreciate. Like everyone can, like, you know, driving a car is easier for actors, but you know, everyone can ride a horse now. And oh, Daryl has a dog. That's pretty good. His name is Dog.
Yeah, that's kind of like some Bird Box kind of just creativity. Like, boy, girl, get over here.
Boy, yeah,
girl, where are you, girl?
Yeah, well, that was weird. That movie.
Boy, girl.
Remember in that movie in Bird Box where she's like, well, I lied. Your name is Cassandra. Your name is Tom. Tom? You mean that guy who was with us our whole life? No, you are Tom. Wait, I'm Tom? What?
I am Negan.
Yeah, that was so weird of Sandra Bullock. Classic.
I'm going to name you after your father who died, killing himself to those monsters.
That was really weird. And
that's not really a good reminder.
And she named the girl after her mother, like, what was it, Olympia or something? Even though Olympia said directly that I want to name my kid after a Disney character. So Sandra Bullock is a real
That was kind
jerk.
of that was kind of a middle finger.
Yeah, it's
like, oh shit, I forgot.
That was so weird. Yeah. But yeah, going back to Walking Dead. So yeah, that's all caught up. It's awesome. Rick Jr. is a thing where Michonne has a kid who's like a biracial little kid who's Rick's son.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting.
We've seen him like once, like through a window. But yeah, that's crazy. Good for Rick.
Yeah. Not that he's around to appreciate it.
Yeah, he's off making his own movies. Doesn't care about his family at all.
Oh, no. He abandoned his TV family to be with his real family.
That's the whole thing about going back to the stupid trilogy movies of Rick, because everyone wants to see a trilogy movie of Rick. Like, he doesn't go back for his family. There's got to be good plot reasons, you know?
Yeah, or maybe he's like taken to some secret underground facility that made the zombie virus, and he goes,
"Oh my gosh,
killing!"
I do not want that. Like they find like, oh, this is the origin of the apocalypse. Like no, like the guy who writes comics. What's his name again? I forget his name. Robert Kirkman. He would turn in his non-physical grave because he's still alive. Like he would not allow that to happen.
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Sorry, but we might need your help. We kind of accidentally unleashed hell on Earth.
I love cool details too. That I forgot to mention this in the first 5 episodes, they have a zoom in on a savior's hands, and his hands are have no fingers on them and Eugene looked real guilty because Eugene was the one who made everyone's hands blow up. Oh, remember that?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Everyone. how has no sanctuary person killed Eugene with their stumpless hands? You know?
Yeah, and how are they functioning at this point? Like, what use? Like, we're kind of fingerless here.
Yeah,
and it's
Eugene,
not like we have the.
How has Eugene not been? He's betrayed both sides of people, and no one's killed
Well,
him.
he saved them. Like, I think he was a double agent. Like
He was, but the Saviors would hate him so much.
Oh my god! Like, you son of a bitch! You took my finger.
All my fingers are gone.
How am I supposed to finger my girl tonight
He
without
said,
fingers?
"Oh God." He can't. No one can point the finger at him because they don't have any fingers to point because they're all blown up because of
I'm not
him.
one to point fingers. I'm pointing my stub.
Yeah, you only have one stub. Don't
Oh,
put my
God.
stub at you.
How are you
Yeah.
supposed to punch someone? With that?
Yeah,
Like, slap them.
So yeah. Okay, that's a cool deal. Going back. So yeah, I want to know your opinion right now. So I read the comics. Like the comic is currently like on like 179 issues.
Oh God, please stop with the numbers. Again, that
I'm sorry.
discourages me.
If you can speed read, it's pretty fun. And but yeah, comic is amazing. Like I always say. What did you think about talking zombies? What were your first thinking? Did you know about the Whisperers or anything like that?
I didn't. And again, I watched Z Nation, so that was like, I mean, they had stripper zombies. They had
nuclear
stone
zombies.
Yeah, I remember that. And then I think the last season they had zombies that retained their human intelligence. That were like, I don't know, basically feral humans when you think about it. So,
Hey, the zombie is a real human.
I mean, yeah. And then I'm just
Z-Nation.
thinking like, so. First off, the whole concept was ridiculous. And I'm like, oh my god!
So
they
yeah,
finally ran out of ideas.
So what did you think? You think the zombies were evolving, like Eugene said?
Well, the way the funniest thing was when Eugene was pointing at like when they were saying like zombies don't talk. That's ridiculous.
These zombies, their cerebellum has definitely grown in the last 17 years. It's definitely about a fact that these they have evolved more than we could ever imagine.
Oh my god, that was almost word for word. That was perfect. But I'm just thinking like
you thought, no way this could be real. No way that these zombies.
I mean, the fact that the dead can even rise to begin with, was ridiculous.
And that's a great point by Jesus. He said, well, we never thought the dead would rise. So what's another thing for them to evolve?
And it's when you think about it. Let's look at it from a scientific standpoint. And I don't know jack about science, but let's say
aren't you a crime major?
Anyway, let's just say the whatever caused the zombie virus. It's a virus. Obviously, we're not looking at some African,
it's not Ebola,
voodoo. Like
it's not some bewitchment or whatever.
Yeah, if they start bringing witches into this, I'm gonna drop this.
Oh
show.
my gosh, I would love it way more. So yeah, so you thought no way these are real people. Like, did you think? So, do you have any theories about why these zombies were talking?
I just thought maybe it was like a mutation or like some kind of evolution. Because think about a bacteria or like the virus, whatever. Essentially it's a living organism.
Yeah,
and so it was like it's capable of adapting and evolving.
And things can evolve, but if a zombie is already a zombie, then it's not too crazy to think they can evolve into a bird. I don't know.
Well, think about this. Back in the first season, and this was just a small detail. I don't think people might remember this, but when a horde of zombies was breaking into the mall, one was using a rock. Yeah, we talked about that.
That was a different director though, so he didn't care about that kind of consistency.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure after a while they kind of caught on to that, and they were like, "This makes
zombies can't hold a rock."
Sense. Like they don't even know what the hell a rock is, and so. And I don't know if it was so much them talking. And at the time before the big reveal, I didn't think it was them actually. They don't have like philosophical conversation with each other. Like, oh, I think I'm in the mood for some human today.
But
oh, look, there's a living human
so
right
you
now.
thought maybe the zombies were mutated, but they were just kind of like really dumb.
I mean, they still retain. Think about it. They're like animals in a sense, like a rabid animal.
Yeah,
like
but they just kind of talk because they're still humans.
Aggressive,
kind of.
But think about it. It's like what? How can a zombie tell without the ability? I imagine they soon lose their ability to see. Obviously,
but apparently not. After 8 years in the apocalypse, they can still see like a eagle.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like thinking back onto it, like how can a zombie tell? Like, just tell humans from another zombie.
Like the smell or anything, but they're dying. So do their nose still work? But yeah, there's all that kind of stuff. But yeah. So
it's like that kind of. Although they're not the brightest beings on Earth, they're not completely dumb.
So yeah, you basically just thought maybe like they're just a slight mutation where they can just talk to each other. Is that what you thought?
I think it just convey like. Kind of like a pack mentality.
Okay, yeah, I can get that.
You ever see
I can
them
behind
in the herds? They kind of just like all like birds of a feather flock.
Yeah,
together.
because there's been some wacky stuff in The Walking Dead, like with some of the characters and stuff. Like I think like when I think Laura, what's her name? Rosita first came on the show. She was wearing like a Tomb Raider outfit, but then stuff has changed. But like, I can't imagine not reading the comics. Like, why are these zombies talking? And then looking up on the internet, immediately getting spoiled.
I try to do that as much as possible. I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
I'm like looking up one character and I see the red bar, like, damn it.
Yeah. But speaking of set pieces, when they save Eugene from the barn or whatever, they go into the cemetery. Like, Dale tries to use dog and like fireworks to like get him to like redirect the zombie herd, but it doesn't work because the zombie curve like the whispers inside push him back into the cemetery. Like, that cemetery set piece was awesome, right? Like, it was like smoky, it was like thundering and lightning. Like, that was awesome, right?
I mean, you can't have a zombie show without a cemetery. I mean,
and that's like the first time it's been 9 seasons, but they haven't been to a cemetery properly before, you know? Like,
I mean,
like,
oh god,
like
weren't
like,
they at a church at one point? I mean,
I think Daryl and Beth did, but like being in a proper like
Cemetery,
70s style horror movie where it's just foggy, that was an awesome set piece, right?
I mean, you got it. Just kind of brings you back to the classic like Night of the Living Dead, where you got the arms like going out of the grave.
It was a
like,
full moon. It was foggy. You couldn't see it 20 feet ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, not that it makes a difference. I mean, they don't have attention to detail. They can't notice if something's creeping up behind them, which is what.
That set piece was, I loved. I was like, oh, here we go. So, I loved it, by the way, because Aaron has a prosthetic arm, of course. So he shoves it into a zombie's mouth to sacrifice, because, it's just prosthetics, and then he stabbed. That's so smart. I love smart things like The Walking Dead being smarter. I love it,
Beautiful.
And by the way, and then Magna and Yumiko, who's like the archer, they come back to help out Jesus and Daryl and Eugene. But then, the like, awesome fight scene, like they get the gate open. Jesus is taking out the few. Jesus he slashes the zombie, jumps off its corpse while it's falling, and then does like he's like, you're a Jesus fan, right?
Jesus.
That was awesome. Because, like, he's just slicing things up. He's slicing tops of heads off. He got a sword. So cool.
No, he is the one dude you want to roll with in the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Funny, cool, and can kick ass.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like, in the comics, he's awesome, too. He's like the Daryl of the comics, because Daryl doesn't exist in the comics. But, yeah, so Yumiko and Magna show up. I like that whole thing of Yumiko and Magna and her group, because like she was kind of like the audience where she was getting associated with this new community that we know and love, and like seeing how it all worked, and like she may be gonna kill Michonne, but then she saw RJ, so she's like, I won't kill you. But I love that it's a classic thing where like they meet up with a new group, but the new group is competent. Because, like, everyone's been in the apocalypse for 8-9 years now, It's not like, oh, I don't know how to kill zombies because I'm a new character. It's like, I know, yes, we were very well associated with the apocalypse, Yeah. And that whole the person who is deaf is pretty cool because, like, you can just be silent and everyone knows sign language. That's really smart, So you can talk in front of the enemy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that really was smart. And, whenever they're doing that, like, what the hell is that? What the hell are you doing? Like, I'm just telling her to not move, like, tell him like don't move it. Meanwhile, you're saying like kill this guy now.
But there's sometimes Magna was like, "You're not gonna give us our weapons? Are you trying to get us killed?" Like, sister, when you walk into a community or where you want to live, you have to do what they say.
Really be picky, or else you're probably not.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Really, and the stubborn ones always are the dumbest. Like they just like.
We want our weapons back. Well, okay, how about you go take your weapons and go down in the forest over there. See you later.
Yeah, like, take your chances out
Michonne's becoming pretty jaded, and I think she needs it as a leader, but
honestly, yeah, and I think I love how they just bring out, like, the psychological changes, because think about it, she lost her... Well, and think about this. Michonne, there were a lot of tragic characters, but Michonne, I think she's just been through the worst of it, because think about it, she lost...
Her son.
Her son, both her sons, in a sense, Carl...
Yeah.
Yep. Her husband. And now she's got a. And
she gained a few kids. She gained Judith. And that's it.
And then Rick Grimes Jr. RJ.
RJ. That's right. Yeah.
RJ. RGJ. RGJ.
Wait,
RJ.
RJJ.
No, RGJ. Rick Grimes Jr.
Rick Grimes Jr. I thought it was like Rick Jr. Grimes.
RG. RJG. RG.
It's be RJ.
RJ sounds
RPG.
way cooler.
It's called that.
RPG.
But yeah, so I like that whole thing. We're going to get back to the Whispers thing in a second because I just kind of want to end on that. So Michonne has an X on her back, the same thing Daryl has. Remember, they took off their shirts for a split second and you see like the weird X carved in their back?
I don't remember that.
Because there's that thing where I hate it in The Walking Dead when it does this, where Like there's basically a time jump, but then the whole thing is like, oh, nothing's happened interesting during this time, or else we would have showed it, that kind of thing, Because like in seasons 2 to 3, like they were before they went to the prison, they're like, yeah, we've been on this road 8 months and we've had nothing going on. But it's cool that something happened in the 6 year, because 6 years, there's been a 6 year gap between in this only half a season, which is crazy in itself. But something went down where Michonne and Daryl both have X's on their back. And
they started a cult?
And I don't know, but Michonne had a conversation with Carol where Michonne's like, listen, I know you're not happy with what I did, but I had to do what I had to do, and I had to carve an X on my chest. She didn't say those words, but she, like, something like that,
Damn, honestly, it's all passed by
me. It's like one of those mysteries, because like I think it must be why Daryl and Michonne have X's on their back is because maybe it's some tribute to Rick, thinking he's still alive. Maybe.
Wasn't there an episode actually called X? Now that I think about it.
No, there's no episode of Walking Dead called X. I don't think. What is it? Capital X, triple X, the return of Rick X. Grimes.
Ha.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yes, so I think that wraps up everything else. But yes, so going back to the awesome, like Rick, Jesus being a badass, he's slicing dudes, like so. Like The Walking Dead hasn't really done a really cool like twist or reveal in a long time for me. But like, because I was expecting it, because I know who the Whisperers were. So the whole time of the episode, I was looking out for Whisperers who might be walkers, who might be Whisperers, because they kind of showed them earlier in the episode where they zoomed in on a zombie's face or whatever. But when Jesus, he cuts off one zombie's head, but then that zombie ducks out of the way, and then he kills him. Like, how shocked! Like, that was awesome. Because I still didn't see it coming, because he was still kind of hiding behind that first one. Man.
Oh, I'm just still taking it. I just thinking about it now. It throws me for a loop.
Like, that was an awesome, shocking, like, oh, what?
Even more shocking than... Even more shocking than, I guess, Jesus gets a knife to the gut.
What is the spoilers? We're talking about the thing that's been out for 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, true that.
But
yeah.
Man.
So, and leaving his fate unknown. And,
no, hell no. Jesus the character from The Walking Dead is dead.
I don't want to believe it.
He was stabbed. His eyes were out open. He wasn't blinking. This is Glenn Dumpster all over again. If they bury Jesus, he comes back 3 days later from the coffin. He really is
the same guy. He just rises from the dead.
Marking this. If Jesus is alive, then I'm not watching this show anymore. Because like I said, it's really hard when you kill someone off in any TV show, because it's like the plot threads over or whatever. Like their plot ended too soon, their arc or whatever. But like when Jesus died, I was like, yeah, man, that's life, man. People get murdered in this world, where it's like Jesus was awesome. He was the leader of Hilltop, and now he's dead.
But I feel like that was just like way too soon. Like, I think about it. Potential of just amazing character development. I mean, we've already got a really good grasp of Jesus. I mean, we've all grown to love him, and now I think it's just too soon to take him away again.
And he's been on for he's had a pretty good 2.5 season run of some side character. But he was always a badass. He was always a speaker of sins. Like, he kind of went through a phase of we have to save all these saviors and feed them rutabaga, or else we're no better than the saviors. I'm like, Jesus, this is war. Come on, man. But he was always a good guy.
I'm hearing, and I was just looking kind of at the page right now. I still don't want to believe he's dead, because they had. I think they did the same thing with the Glenn Dumpster.
Oh my gosh! I just said that. Don't get me started, man.
Yeah, and apparently I just found out he was part of the LGBT community.
Oh yeah, so I love this with The Walking Dead too. They've occasionally had gay people on the show, and they get. I think the first one was Tara's girlfriend from Woodbury, who got headshot in the face 2 episodes after she was introduced. And I love
homophobe.
I love it when Reddit's like, "Oh, The Walking Dead hates gay people." I'm like, no, everyone dies in the show,
Yeah, I mean blacks, whites,
but I think,
Hispanics.
Yeah, is Tara now the only gay person on the show now?
No, apparently, no. Yumiko is now.
Oh, Yumiko. I think Magna too. They have a relationship.
Yumiko and Magna
comics.
are the.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, the Whisperers. I've been waiting for them in the comics forever. It was awesome seeing them in action. So yeah, Jesus kills. So Jesus gets killed by a Whisperer
who soon dies. He kind of follows him with him.
Yeah, he whispers, "You are where you do not belong." Something like that. That was sick. Because he whispered, and that's what his name is. So cool.
Well, it's not like he's just going to say, you are not where you belong.
Yeah.
Because that kind of defeats the purpose of being a whisperer.
What was really weird, though, is that, he killed the the Whisperer killed Jesus, and then the Whisperer just stands in the middle of out in the middle of like the yard, and then like doesn't Daryl just like shoot him in the back with a crossbow immediately? Like I think he would have like gone like run away to the shadows, and then like 5 Whisperers come out, but they all just have a melee weapon. They get like all dispatched immediately. Like
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there's the saying, don't bring a knife to a gunfight for obvious reasons.
but they didn't even. I don't think they even use guns. Like maybe a few shots went off, but man, like it's kind of weird how like. The Whisper, you can hear the Whisperer still around when like they kill off most of them and like they remove that guy's mask. But I could have sworn like there were like 5 Whisperers attacked him and they all just got killed immediately by Daryl and by Yumiko and all that kind of stuff. That was kind of weird.
You know, the funny thing was when I first saw them, especially like Alpha, the first thing I thought about was Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, well, you gotta at least know him. Like, he literally made like a mask out of human face, and they kind of just look like a Whisperer. Like, I wonder if they actually skin like zombies. And then
Yeah, so yeah, the comics are really crazy. I'll tell you more about it once we get into it, or if they announce it in the TV show. But yeah, man, it was really. But like I said, it was really weird how they like, oh, this is the big new threat, and then like 6 of those new threats just come out, and they kill them all immediately. But yeah, so in conclusion, Jesus better be dead, or I'll be mad. I love the shock and awe of just killing a main character like that, and I can't wait to see where the rest of mid-season's going. It's the premiere, like we said, is tonight. So, what are you expecting? You got any theories or anything like that?
Honestly, nothing for now. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of the Whisperers because honestly, I think this may be. I think they're going to be a way better kind of threat to them than the Saviors or the Woodbury.
It's one of the biggest mysteries too, because like, who are these people? Why are they doing this? Like,
why do they wear zombie skin? Oh, well, obviously.
Yeah, and it's cool because like it's not like some plot. It's not like some like, oh, these are the wolves. These are bad guys, so we can have convenient fodder to kill bad guys. Like these are like. This is like an interest. It's not the junk people where they're just idiots who just live in a junk pile. Like this is an interesting group where they have done weird stuff to survive, and apparently it's worked for 8 years.
And also kind of royally screwed up their psyche.
And the comics is awesome too because like the Whisperers have an unlimited army of walkers. Like if like you can kill 300 people, like 100 Whisperers pretty easy with guns. But if you have 100,000 walkers at your gates, like the Whisperers are our biggest threats. I'm so excited for that. Another cliffhanger I almost forgot to mention. So, like, the whole season in general, like, Negan's been in the cage, been imprisoned. I think Gabriel has a few chats with him, does some yoga with him with a weird, like, kind of like the
doesn't he clean out his shit bucket?
Oh, yeah, good times.
That was fun.
They have fun, like, little moral debates, and he talks with Judith about math problems. But another cliffhanger was Negan's cage is open. Like, apparently, like, Gabriel left the door open or, like, the lock didn't like lock in, so Negan is free. Like last shot is like him like leaving his tennis ball and like leaving the cell. So do you expect anything from Negan coming up?
Honestly, I think this is where Negan. Well, I think this is where Negan is going to slowly start to redeem himself. And, as much as
he can, he can
as much as it's humanly possible, as Neganly possible. Yeah.
Da-da-da.
But honestly, first off, I want to see again. I think when it came to someone like Negan, I think the one thing I just ever hated about him was how he just mocked people as he was killing them. Other than that, I think he just was. I think he was just did what he had to do to survive, to get his group to survive, and
he made the wounds and he put some salt in them every time he could.
No. He just kind of dumped it in there and just.
No, he just rubbed it.
Like he was not gentle.
He was the bad guy who would like put Carl's like put his hand out, extend it fully, and like let Carl like swing beneath him like one of those just bullies. But
he makes the killer pasta.
But yeah, like Negan's one of my favorite characters from the pasta. Negan's one of my favorite characters from the comics. He's one of my favorite characters from the TV show. So I can't see what I think what he's gonna do is he's gonna go back to his cell, leave the door open, and prove Gabriel like, hey, look at me, I stayed inside, Gabriel. Because he's just gonna escape? He's gonna join the Whisperers? Like I don't know. Like I can't wait to see.
I think Negan would rather die than wear zombie masks.
I don't know, but like like the first thing that's gonna happen tonight in the episode is that like they're gonna be like, oh shit, Jesus is dead and Negan's gone. Oh, how could this get any worse? Oh, Rick, you're back from the dead. Whoa, I'm a ghost, Rick.
More like back from the never dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, and then the zombies are actually going to gain human intelligence and they actually learn how to hunt humans.
Oh.
Yeah. So then we're so boned.
But yeah, man, like that's kind of my main theory. I think I'm gonna have a spoiler section about the comics, which like some crazy stuff happens. By the season 9 finale, do you have any great grand predictions of what could happen? Like, do you think like Daryl will die or Carol will die or Henry
oh God,
will?
Daryl will never die. Okay.
Do you think the Whisperers will be a problem dealt with by the end of season 9?
No, I feel just like Woodbury and the Saviors. I feel like they're going.
Like, I don't want this dragged out, you know?
Yeah. Let's just say they try to end it by season 11. So I think they're probably gonna be around for one good season, and then I feel like if that's the case, there's gonna be like one final antagonist, or maybe like a season and a half.
Yeah, but like I said, the comics are there's so much left to comics still that like.
I mean,
but like
how many
there's lots
characters just that were in the comics that were never in the show. I mean, it's not.
But
always...
but the thing is, like, the comics still have so much good source material, like after the post Whisperers. So
So do you want this to continue on any longer?
I want the Whisperers to be dealt with by the end of season 9. If this draws out to season 10 and a half, then I'm going to be pissed.
I mean, how else are they going to make their Whisperer merchandise?
Yeah, no, I want them to deal with the Whispers at the end of season 9, and I want them to do it 10-year time jump. I want to have Judith be the main protagonist. I don't know, because...
Okay. If they don't last throughout a season, how do you think they're going to last 10... I mean, think about it. Like, they got all the characters there. Like, you must not want them to, like... They're going to start to lose their luster. Like, you're going to get older.
Old,
yeah.
I want to see
a zombie. Oh, my
back. I want to see a senior citizen version of this by the end of season 10. That's my official prediction.
I would actually love to see a senior citizen, not Herschel,
it's like
older than that.
It's like the worst makeup imaginable, too. It's just like, put like 1,000 crow's eyes on just Daryl, and he has like a luscious beard.
Like, God
yeah, like everyone
like killing them with their sword canes.
They're playing basketball in wheelchairs. Like, I want that to happen.
Yeah.
It must. I think that wraps it up. So, like I said, I'm real excited for it. This show's, I think, just keep up the pace. Like, my opinion, just keep up the pace. Like, if the next 4 episodes are like, oh gosh, what are we gonna do about these Whisperers? We better be. I'm freaking out. Like, it should be keep moving. I'm not gonna. If it's like,
how about just try shooting them? I mean, they're no different than regular walkers.
And
think about it.
Not
the best part about
there in 1,000 group herd of zombies where you can't waste that much ammo. You know.
Well, true that. I mean, do they sit in the middle of the herds, or do they take the leads?
The Whisperers are awesome. So like, think about it too. Like, the Whisperers kind of sit in the middle of the herds, and they kind of direct it as best they can. They kind of use them as human shields. So the Whisperers know what's going on because they have like infinite supply of zombies to use as just zombie fodder in the world. So they're a great threat. I'm so excited. So you got any final remarks about best of season 9?
I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, me
now,
too.
I wonder, like, with using walkers, is that like biological warfare or?
They're not alive. Is that biological?
I mean, come on, it's bodies that walk.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because they infect people. So.
I guess so. So I think that's about it. Wraps it up for season 9, part 1. I can't wait. We might do podcast soon over the next episode, I'm hoping. So I guess we'll see you then. So signing off, I'm Drew.
I'm Caleb.
Have a good one. And this is
the Walking Apologist.
Okay. This is Post
Apologist.
Apologist. Take care.